Operation Sledge Hammer, Kenya's D-Day at Kismayo. By 2011, Kenya was confronting a crisis that could no longer be ignored. Across its border in Somalia, the militant group Al-Shabaab, hardened by years of insurgency and bound to Al-Qaeda, had entrenched itself as one of Africa's most dangerous organizations. Their power center was the port city of Kismayo, a hub of commerce and crime. From this port, Al-Shabaab exported millions of dollars worth of charcoal to buyers in the Gulf and imported weapons that fueled their war machine. With these resources, they financed their brutal insurgency and launched cross-border raids, kidnappings, and bombings that undermined Kenya's security and economy. When foreigners were abducted from Kenya's resorts and aid convoys ambushed near the border, Nairobi realized Somalia's chaos was no longer contained. It was spilling into Kenya itself. To protect its sovereignty and economy, Kenya acted. In October 2011, the government launched Operation Linda Nchi, sending troops into southern Somalia to push back Al-Shabaab. But the ultimate objective was clear. Kismayo had to fall. Without Kismayo, Al-Shabaab would lose its treasury, its weapons pipeline, and its last claim to urban authority. That objective demanded something unprecedented in Africa, a large-scale amphibious assault. The plan was codenamed Operation Sledgehammer, a strike from both land and sea to crush Al-Shabaab's last stronghold. In the early dawn of September 28, 2012, the waters of Somalia's southern coast thundered with the sound of warships. The Kenya Defense Forces were about to attempt something no African army had ever tried on this scale, an amphibious landing on Kismayo. At the spearhead were two Kenyan Navy vessels, KNS Nyayo, a missile craft bristling with naval guns, and KNS Umoja, an amphibious ship packed with Marines, armored vehicles, and landing craft. For East Africa, these ships represented the closest thing to a battle group. Together, they combined firepower, troop transport, and command control, a level of joint capability rare on the continent. Leading the naval task force was Major General Charles Muriu Kahariri, then the maritime component commander. He directed the seaborne assault with precision, orchestrating bombardments and landings. In a twist of destiny, the same officer would later rise to become Kenya's chief of the defense forces in 2024. A testament to the enduring legacy of Sledgehammer on Kenya's military leadership. As dawn broke, Nyayo and Umoja unleashed their guns. From offshore, they hammered Al-Shabaab's coastal defenses. Then the assault began. Marines surged from fast boats launched off Umoja, punching through the surf toward Kismayo's beaches. Overhead, F-5 Tiger jets screamed across the skies, striking entrenched bunkers, while helicopter gunships hovered low, unleashing rockets and machine gun fire. It was a textbook amphibious landing, the kind of maneuver usually associated with great powers, now carried out by an African force. Simultaneously inland, Kenya's armored brigades rolled south from Afmadao, supported by the Ras Kamboni militia under Ahmed Madobe. Tanks and mechanized infantry advanced relentlessly, guided by Somali allies who knew the terrain. With the Navy striking from the sea and ground forces closing in from the land, Al-Shabaab's grip on Kismayo collapsed. By the evening of September 29, 2012, the battle was over. Al-Shabaab melted into the hinterlands, unwilling to face Kenya's firepower head-on. Kismayo, the jewel of their empire, had fallen. The Kenyan flag now flew over the port that once bankrolled an insurgency. For Kenya, it was a triumph. Sledgehammer was the most complex operation in its history, and it succeeded with remarkable speed. For Africa, it was a milestone. No African army had ever executed an amphibious landing of this scale. Analysts compared it not to regional conflicts, but to the Normandy landings of D-Day or General MacArthur's Incheon strike in Korea. Kismayo was not Normandy, but for Africa it was just as groundbreaking. Yet victory came with consequences. Al-Shabaab had lost its city but not its resolve. Stripped of urban power, the group turned to insurgency and terror. Kenya itself became a target. The Westgate Mall siege in 2013, the Garissa University massacre in 2015, and the Dusit D2 attack in 2019. Operation Sledgehammer had broken Al-Shabaab's empire, but it also ushered in a new, deadlier phase of asymmetric war. Still, the landing at Kismayo endures as one of Africa's most daring operations, a D-Day moment for Kenya. It was proof that African forces, too, could master the art of joint warfare, discipline, and audacity at sea. To stay ahead of global security trends and understand the forces shaping our world, make sure you hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell.